We have plenty of Rikka action for you today. My favorite runic and Libromancer Mikanko steps up to the plate to show us something a little bit interesting here. Alright, to the 34% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button, smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. We have some Rikka Sun Avalon stuff here with a splash of Naturia goodness. Now, to my understanding, this is a pretty cute little package that you can actually kind of splash into your deck and actually kind of get a little bit more free real estate out of because, you know, you have an extra layer of synergy here with this being a plant. So you're basically taking advantage of some spell and trap negates here through the form of Naturia Bane, basically getting 2 negates through this. It's not really something that we've seen before, actually. It's kind of a nice little tech choice option in here. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have 1 copy of the Cactus Bouncer. Triple copies of Mudan, the Rikka Fairy. We have 1 copy of Naturia Camellia. We have 1 Naturia Vane. Then we have 1 Primulia. Triple copies of Petal. Triple copies of good old Rikka Princess. 1 copy of Snowdrop. We have 1 Sunseed Twin. And 2 copies of the Sunseed Genius Loki. And we have 1 Called by the Grave. 2 Lightning Storm, with 1 1-for-1. We have triple copies of Rikka Glamour, triple copies of Con, and 1 copy of Sewing. Then we have triple copies of Unexpected Die, 2 evenly matched, triple copies of Infinite Permanence, and 1 copy of the Rikka Sheet. Then in the extra deck, and 1 good old Zelantis, 1 Dance Peony, 1 Sunvine Thrasher with 2 Healer. We have 1 good Malias with 2 Dryas, 1 Begalancer with 1 Jasmine. We also have 2 Teardrops, 1 Hyperton, and 2 copies of Sterena. Then our side deck here is 1 Laurel, triple copies of Dimension Shifter, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, 2 Dark Ruler No More, 1 Twin Twisters, triple Anti-Scam Fragrance, 1 Polynosis, actually playing Polynosis, and 2 copies of Solemn Judgment. Wrapping up a pretty good list here, and I really do like a lot of the option trees that you are seeing with this deck. It does prove that there's a lot of good diversity to really be had out here. Next up is our Libromancer Mikanko turbo deck. I will say here that Isolde definitely has gotten a fresh coat of paint with this deck. The fact that you can actually play some spell or equip spells in your deck to actually get some value here. Well, I mean, first of all, equip spells are one of the worst mechanics in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! As of, you know, more recently. Just because, like, they're near impossible to really execute anything with. Now, this is not, like, the first Mikanko deck that we've seen either. There have been quite a few of these, even some that are having popularity on a regional level, which is pretty interesting at the end of the day, just seeing, like, the turnover and things that are happening here because of, you know, how easy, like, this combo deck kind of feels here. I've seen some builds actually trying, like, Archlord Christie and stuff, too. So we have triple copies of Diviner of the Herald. We have 1 copy of Hyre, 1 copy of Renauld. We have 2 copies of Libromancer Agent. Triple copies of Libromancer Fire, with 2 copies of the Geek Boy. We have 1 Magician Souls with 1 copy of Nini. We have 1 copy of Ben 10 with 1 copy of Good Old Illusion. 1 Doombroker and 2 copies of the Orihime. We have 1 Call by the Grave, triple copies of Dark Ruler No More, triple copies of Good Old Emergency Teleport, 2 copies of Libromancer First Appearance, 1 Mikanko Fire Dance, 1 Kagura, 1 Reflection Rondo, 1 Water Arboresque. Then we have triple copies of Preparation Rites, 1 The Great Mikanko Ceremony, triple copies of the Triple Tactics Talents, and 1 copy of Libromancer Intervention. And then we have 1 copy of Little Sprite Elf, 1 Isolde, 1 IP, with 1 Ferocious Flame Swordsman. We have 1 copy of Donner, 1 copy of Krashi with 1 Borlsword. We have 1 Apo, 1 Zeus with 1 Sheridan. We have 1 Ravenous Crocodon, 2 Heralds, 1 Baron, and 1 copy of Venentis here. Wrapping up your Libromancer Warrior combo strategy is the best way that we're going to call this for now. It's definitely good. Next up here is Crystal Beast. First of all, holy crap. Conclave Control actually doing something again. I am a sucker every time we see this deck, because I'm not a huge, like, Crystal Beast control player, but I genuinely am intrigued when this deck actually does something. It definitely shows that there are players out here that are trying all sorts of ideas here to try to find the perfect balance that they can actually have success with. And that has actually been kind of nice. You know, once you can see diversity and things really showcasing here differences is really, really good. So we have triple copies of Ash, Blossom, and Joy Spring. We have 1 copy of Cobalt Eagle, 2 copies of the Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. We have 1 copy of Ruby Carbuncle. Triple copies of good old Sapphire Pegasus. Triple copies of Dimension Shifter. 2 copies of Fenrir with 1 Rainbow Dragon. I missed the Mathmech stuff to unbrick this. We have triple copies of Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates. 2 copies of Crystal Bond. We have 2 Foolish Burial Goods with 1 Necro Valley. We have triple copies of Pot of Prosperity. Triple copies of Rainbow Bridge. Triple copies of Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. And then we have 2 Crystal Conclave. 2 Crystal Miracle, 2 Infinite Permanents, and 1 Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. Down the extra deck, you get the 1 Whim, your 1 Underworld Goddess, your 1 Nightmare Phoenix, your 1 Tornado Dragon with your 1 Utopia the Lightning. We have 1 Dugaris, 1 Baguski with 1 Utopia, and we have 1 Lightning Chidori, 1 Gaga Cowboy, 1 Zeus, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Mud, and 1 Garuda. Our side deck here is triple copies of Spooky Dogwood. We have 1 Foolish Burial Goods, 1 Necro Valley with triple Super Poly. We have 1 Zombie World, triple Evenly Matched, and triple copies of the Hand of God. Wrapping up another interesting control variant. Like I said, I missed the Mathmech variant. Ever since I've seen like the Mathmech cards see play in this, I'm just like, my brain has been like blown wide open for crazy ideas. Next up here, this is Robbie territory, if territory ever existed. So a Runic deck tore through a regional and made top 4. Now, I started testing this guy myself. This versus Skill Drain, pretty good. I will say, though, that it is interesting that we are focusing on Skill Drain in this. I guess when the format is degenerate enough that you kind of have to get how many Skill Drains effectively put into your deck here to even actually, stand a chance. That's actually kind of interesting. So they opted for the 5 of, and then, of course, the full Dimensional Fissure Vacuum here. So, of course, we have triple copies of Majesty's Theme, 1 Card of Demise, triple copies of Dimensional Fissure, triple copies of Messenger Piece, OP. We have 2 copies of Pot of Desires, triple copies of Runic Destruction with triple copies of the Flashing Fire. We have triple copies of the Fountain, triple copies of Freezing Curses, with only 1 Golden Droplet, triple copies of Slumber, 1 copy of Smiting Storm, triple copies of Just the Tip. Then we have triple Rivalry of Warlords, 2 Skill Drain, and triple copies of There Can Only Be One. Then we have 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Hip Hoshigan, 1 copy of the Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. Then we have triple copies of My Good Friend Moonin, triple copies of Hugin, triple copies of Gary, and triple copies of Frecky. Then we have triple copies of Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, triple copies of My Good Old Friend Lava Golem, triple copies of Curse Seal the Forbidden Spell, triple Dark Bribe, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here. Wrapping this up, I do kind of miss seeing something like Goes and Match in here. I believe their logic is Rivalry feels a lot better in certain situations, which it does. I mean, don't get me wrong, but, setting up a TC Boo here is really, really good at the end of the day. And then following it up with the additional copies of this. I mean, considering the fact you basically have to outplay tier 95% of the time, like, this actually makes things a lot more tolerable. So, big things to really consider there. Next up here is, spellbooks. I have been on the constant grind here, talking with this duelist and following their career ever since like the inception of them doing well, and they've done fantastic out here. It has been nothing but a pleasure to see that they have found success out here with the combination of spellbooks with runic stuff, putting them in a nice position to actually do well here. So we have 1 copy of Jaugen, triple copies of the Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, 2 Dimensional Fissures with 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet. We have 1 Ghost Trick Shot with 1 Instant Fusion, triple copies of Runic Destruction, triple Flashing Fire with 2 copies of Runic Fountain. We have 2 triple Freezing Curses, 1 Droplet with triple copies of Slumber. We have 1 Smiting Storm with triple Tip, 1 Spellbook of Eternity, 2 copies of Fate, 1 Spellbook of Judgment, 2 Knowledge, triple Secrets, 1 Terraforming, and 1 Upstart. Then we have 1 copy of Solemn, 1 copy of News Reporter with 1 Lina, 1 Nightmare Phoenix with 1 Utopic Future and 1 Utopic Future Draco. We have 1 So Q Boss with 2 Ghost Trick Angel Mischief. We have 1 Moonin, 1,000 Eyes, 2 copies of Hugin, 1 Gary, and 1 Frecky. And then we have triple Ghost Sister, triple Dark Roller, triple Lightning Storm, triple Soul Release, and triple copies of Dark Bribe here. Wrapping up, wow, your chunk of very interesting deck profiles. There's so many cool things happening. I mean, we're heading on into a huge shift in the metagame. We'll see, what will survive really at the end of everything, but we'll see. Genuinely curious. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.